Hello everyone, welcome to Even the Scales. Thank you for clicking on this video and thank you to the people that have subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate your support. My name's Donna and today on my channel I'm going to talk to you about the abuse that the majority of my community here in Campbelltown has been carrying out on me for quite some time now. I haven't asked people to subscribe to my channel in the past because the purpose of this channel has never been about me gaining any popularity or anything like that. I had to create this channel to quite literally save my life. And it's all I could do. And this is because the justice system are actually involved in carrying out this abuse on me. So these videos are my only hope of actually getting help in this situation. And I'm doing these videos because I want to let people know that conspiracy theories like this actually exist. Like here, of all places, in a suburb of southwestern Sydney, Campbelltown, New South Wales. Obviously, I'm hoping that this situation does come to an end sooner than later. So I just didn't want to mislead anyone by asking them to subscribe to my channel. But if anyone does want to subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate that too, because it just shows me that I do have support. My goal is to use this channel in the future as a channel where I can help people get out of abusive situations. So that's what I want to do in the future with Even the Scales. But right now, saving my own life is my priority. So first of all, I would like to do an acknowledgement of country and first acknowledge the Dharawal people, who are the true custodians of the land that I bring you these messages on today. I would also like to pay respect to elders past and present, as well as extend my respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are watching this video today. If you haven't heard my story before, my family, the majority of the community, the police and other authorities here in Campbelltown, New South Wales, have been carrying out something called MK Ultra mind control on me. If you're not aware of what MK Ultra mind control is, it is when a large group or a family all get together and carry out cruel psychological abuse on one person. And this is to try and break down the person's will to live or to affect their health. So they're putting me through this constant abuse through every single angle of my life that they possibly can. I'm constantly being gaslighted and provoked, and what they're trying to do is to keep me in a constant state of panic and fear. They're not trying to cause me just a minor health problem by doing this. They're actually trying to cause me to have something like a heart attack or a stroke, because they want me to be in a position where I am not able to take care of myself. And this is because they want control of my life. So this is what they have been doing. And they've made sure that absolutely everybody is involved in this. It's a huge network of people that are carrying this out. It's highly organized, and the lengths that these people have gone to do this is just absolutely unbelievable. And the reason that this is happening is because it's a part of a huge cover-up orchestrated by the justice system. They want me to call the police for help. This is what they're wanting me to do, and this is because they want to be able to say, look, this isn't happening to you. We think you're delusional. And if you didn't know any better about what was actually going on here, if someone did come up to you and say, You know, my whole community is out to get me. Everyone's abusing me, every single person, my family, the people around me. Like, you know, somebody might think that you maybe might have a mental health problem, but this is the whole point of why they are doing this in the way that they are. This scheme is so elaborate and there are so many people involved, and the whole point that they are doing this is so that they can turn around and say, you know, that I'm delusional, and they can lock me up in a mental ward if that happens, or they want the abuse to affect my health in very negative ways. They want to be able to say, you know, that I'm schizophrenic or something like that, and that I'm imagining all this. And these people were just so confident when they first started doing this. They were confident that they would be able to, you know, cause a disaster in my life, but it hasn't happened. This has just gone on and on and on. And I can tell you now that this would have cost these people millions of dollars to carry this out. And this must be just what they do to people here in Australia, or here in New South Wales at least, that know about crimes that have been committed by people that work in the justice system. They just try and get rid of them. To anyone that has watched my other videos, please forgive me for the fact that the information in my videos is so repetitive. I know that it is. I mean, I get sick of saying the same stuff over and over again too, but the thing is that it's just very important right now that if for someone who hasn't seen my story before, you know, and they just happen to click on this one video, it's very important that I show people the big picture of what has happened here and the events that have led to the position that I'm in now. And this is because that these videos are my only hope of getting help in this situation. My family and the police have been carrying out psychological abuse on me for more than 2 years, but the abuse got a lot worse just over a year ago after I wrote a letter to the police explaining how I have been treated and how police have responded to my calls for help during the time that I have been living with family and domestic violence in my life. And this is for the past 10 years now. It's just hit the 10-year anniversary of that. And they don't want that information being made to the public about how the police handled those calls, because there was 12 calls made to the justice system during that time over the past 10 years. And on each and every time that I contacted the justice system, my calls were either not followed up or I was treated very unfairly. And this is because even though I didn't know it at the time, I was being put through psychological abuse by people that work in the justice system. There have been police officers blocking justice for me, and this is because I have police that are connected to my family, and as well as police officers that are actually in my family. I also reported a pedophile in 2020. That person is still living in a community here in Campbelltown. The police know this and they have done nothing about that person. And that is because it's all a part of the psychological abuse that they've been carrying out on me. My family also stole an inheritance. And this is why they have been so invested in this abuse that's been carried out on me. They don't want to be held accountable for taking that money. They don't want to give it back. And the justice system helped them do that as well. There are also crimes that police officers connected to this family have been involved in. And one of those crimes is a very serious crime that involves violence against women. So this is another bit of information they definitely don't want the public finding out about. They carried out extensive research on my life to do this abuse, to carry out this abuse. They learned about every single detail of my life, dating right back to my childhood. They know about all the trauma and abuse that I have been through, and they are using these things as a part of the abuse that I'm going through now. I mean, these people know what I ate when I come home from school when I was 11 years old. They know about things that I bought on a holiday that I went on in 1981. Like, this is how detailed the information they have on my life. And of course, it's my family members that are involved in this, and people from my past and people that I thought were close to me have given this information to whoever is in charge of this whole operation. And absolutely nothing is sacred as far as the information that they know. They know every single intimate detail of my life, and it's just so disrespectful. And a lot of the people that have given this information have also told lies. Really, really crazy, outrageous lies about me. And I think this is because a lot of them thought that they would never have to be held accountable for the lies that they told, because they thought I probably wouldn't be around to find out about them. And, you know, there were so many people against one person. I think they thought that this would just be a big success, this abuse. So, yeah, they thought I wouldn't be around to find out. But a lot of these people had motives, and some of their motives were jealousy. Some of them just didn't want me to get justice in my life. They didn't want to see me be happy in my life. They didn't want to see me receive my inheritance. And some of them have actually stolen the inheritance. So, of course, these people are going to lie. There are also cops that are connected to this that have lied. And I mean, of course, you know, most people are going to believe anything a police officer says, because, you know, they are supposed to be some of the most honest people in our community. But the police officers involved in this have lied. My human rights have been violated in ways that seriously no human being should ever have to go through anything like I have been going through throughout 2024 up until right now. There are listening devices in my home and in my car. My vehicle's tracked everywhere I go. And all of my devices have been hacked. And it is not just the police who can see everything that I do on my devices and all my personal information and what I'm doing in my house. It is also members of the public. And one of the most disgusting things about this whole thing is that the pedophile and the violent cop that's involved in this and all of my abusers from the past have actually been able to listen into my home and have that power over me. They try to control as much as possible about my life. Everything that they can control, they try to control, such as the ads that I see on my devices. They use those to psychologically abuse me. Same with the music that I listen to. Even this video that I am filming right now, members of the community can see me filming this video right now. They don't have to watch it on YouTube because they've already seen it and downloaded it from my device. So that's how much my privacy is being violated right now. So what's been happening since the last time I spoke on the last video is that they know that I am speaking out more and more about what's happening here in Campbelltown. They know that more and more people are watching the videos on YouTube. Word is getting around about what's going on. So they are using the opportunities when I go out to abuse me more. And this is because they are just trying to force me to have a mental health breakdown so that they don't have to be held accountable for what's going on here. So they are using the times when I go out and leave the house as windows of opportunity to just amp up the abuse and the stalking even more. And I think they're hoping that, you know, hopefully not too many people have seen the videos that I've put out, and they'll just be able to say I was crazy and that this will just all go away somehow. But this is definitely not what's going to happen, because I don't plan on having any mental health breakdown, and I'm going to keep speaking out about what's going on here no matter what. So when I've gone out the last few times, it has just been absolutely unbelievable as far as the stalking and abuse goes. The people that live around me that have been involved in this as well, they have just been doing whatever they can to abuse me, because obviously they don't want to be held accountable either. Some of them have stopped. It has quietened down a lot here in Campbelltown. It really has, which is great. Like, it's great to have, you know, a lot of peace back. But there are people who are still relentless in what they are doing. For instance, they knew I was about to start filming this video, so they started sending loud cars up the street. That's just someone who listens into my house all the time, and they do this a lot. They send the cars up the street. And the people around me that are still carrying out this abuse, they listen into my home 24 hours a day, these people. They must be wearing an earpiece or something like that. And it's because they have that close access that they take full advantage of being able to, you know, abuse me more than other people. And they've also been doing this for so long. You know, some of them have just got so used to it, it's become part of their life, and it's all they do with their lives is abuse me for their entertainment. And some of them even get their friends and family to come over and help them. And just, yeah, lately, since the last video I have done, there are certain people that live around me that have just been working overtime, premeditating acts of abuse to carry out every single day for a year now. The people that are around me have been involved in this have just, yeah, just they every single day for a year, these people have done something to abuse me. And this is because they were expecting a lump sum of money after I passed away or got sick from this. So I'll give you an example. My car is no more than 20 meters from my front door. And the other day when I walked out of my house, before I even got to my car, I had two neighbours try and carry out abuse on me. There's one woman, she must watch me so closely that the second I walked out my front door, this person was carrying out abuse that she had planned. And what she did was she mocked me. She mocked something that I had done in my home that morning. And, you know, while that might sound very petty, it is very petty. But the thing is, this shouldn't be happening at all. I shouldn't have to put up with this. And it's just happening constantly. These people are constantly trying to provoke me. And then I didn't walk, another 10 meters, and I had another neighbor who had actually invited her friends over to help her. And she was getting picked up, and there was people in the front seat of the car, in the front seats, and one of them was on the phone, and they had timed it so that when I walked past them, this person was talking on the phone, and they were saying how they were going to meet their family members and their grandchildren and have a lovely lunch together, which is great. I'm happy for anyone who's doing that. Good on them. But the thing is, these people had actually set that up to psychologically abuse me. And this is because almost a year ago now, I had to walk away from family members that I love so much, so dearly. And it breaks my heart every day that I have to be away from my grandchildren. And this is the kind of thing these people around here are using to get to me, to try and abuse me. So they had set that whole conversation up. They knew what they were going to say. They knew, exactly when I was walking out my front door and when I would get to that point and what they would say. And this is the kind of thing they're doing. And, the fact that these women are going out of their way to do this, and just to be so cruel, I just can't believe how cruel they are. For a woman to be actually doing this to a woman who's lost her children. It's just disgusting to me. And I can't ever imagine doing this to anyone, not even my worst enemy, to be honest. But I'm being constantly gaslit by these people. They're trying to cause me to have an emotional outburst, and this is so they can turn around and complain about me and say that I'm crazy. This is why they're doing it, but it's only natural that someone would get upset with this happening to them, constantly throughout the day by the people around them. And to stoop to that level where they're actually using the fact that I've lost my children from being a part of my life, that's one of the most traumatic things that's ever happened to me. And it's like these people are just driving the knife into a heart that's already broken, over and over and over. And they're doing this for their entertainment. I mean, they probably think it's funny. So I just couldn't believe that, to be honest, And the fact that I have, made these videos and I've been talking about this for just so long now, over a year, and they're still doing things like this. And I want people to know just how involved the people have been that live around me, that have been a part of this. I want people to know just how much they have been doing, because the fact that they do live so close to me, like no one else can see what's actually going on here. So this is why I want people to know, if anything does happen to me, I want these people held responsible. I mean, if I passed away or anything from stress, these people would be a very big reason for that, considering what they've been putting me through. So I definitely want the truth to be known about that. So then after I had been provoked by these people that live around me, I got into my car and I started driving to the shop, and I had just people coming at me from every direction on the road, just trying to cause me incidents, accidents, just trying to provoke me to have road rage. This happened all the way and all the way home. And some of the people that were stalking me on the road were actually fire brigade, postal workers, cops, ambulance drivers, and cabs. And this is because, well, the fire brigade, I think they're just helping out their fellow emergency workers by doing this. If it's not that, if that's not the reason, there are members of the fire brigade that are connected to this family as well. The postal workers, well, they have played that many mind games with my mail throughout 2024. So they have, good reason to hope that they're not held accountable for what they have done. And then there's the police. Well, they are the reason that this whole thing is happening in the first place. And then there's the ambulance drivers who were a part of the setup where I was taken to the Campbelltown Public Hospital, which I will go into in just a minute. And then the cabs, they have also been involved since I was in the hospital. So, they're all stalking me in groups as well. And then as soon as I get out my car at the shops, there are people just coming from every direction to stalk me in the car park to carry out some kind of psychological abuse. Then when I go into the shops, it's the same thing throughout the shopping centre. People coming from every direction to try and provoke me, all to carry out psychological abuse. Just about every one of the stores that I go into is involved. And I know this because they are putting fake messages over the loudspeakers, and they will play music, like specific songs and things like that, to psychologically abuse me. They will also set up fake customers in the stores to try and get close to me to mock something that I've done in my home, just to let me know that they've heard me doing something in my home. Or they will try and get close to me with children to try and, cause me psychological abuse about the fact that my children aren't in my life. And they will also send lookalikes of my abusers towards me when I'm in the shopping centres as well. And I just mentioned how they're still sending the noisy vehicles up the street. This is someone who is listening into my home 24/7. This person hears me wake up in the morning sometimes, and they will send a noisy car or bike or truck around the streets close to me. And this is just, to signal that they have heard me get up, and they're just letting me know that by creating that noise. And they'll also do this through the night sometimes too. If they hear me move through the night, they will create noise with loud cars or bikes, things like that. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I have people listening in on my home. And it's even more sickening to know that some of these people are just, living within meters of my front door. Some of these people are just natural abusers as well, that are just getting a kick out of having that power over me. And in most of the other videos, I have mentioned that almost a year ago now, was actually on the 6th of February 2024, I was set up by my family members, an organisation that I was actually going to for help at the time, and ambulance drivers to be taken to the Campbelltown Public Hospital and admitted as an involuntary mental health patient. I was held there for 5 weeks against my will, and I was put through 5 weeks of severe psychological torture by the doctors, the nurses, and the fake patients that they had set up there ready to carry out the abuse. They closed down the whole 4th floor of the Campbelltown Public Hospital to do this. So this is what I mean by the fact that these people have just gone to extremes, and this would have cost them so much. I mean, it's been going on for over a year now. What they did was they got me to the hospital and then they tried to cause me to have a mental health breakdown. They were so confident that they would be able to do it. These people were so cruel, and they were actually laughing about what they were doing to me. And there were so many of them. That was one of the hardest things to come to terms with, was just how cruel the people were being that were around me. That was one of the hardest things to believe. It's a miracle that I ever got out of that hospital. I should have never have been taken there in the first place. And every single right that an involuntary mental health patient should have when they are admitted like that was violated. There was not one right that wasn't broken by the staff and people at that hospital. So basically what's been happening is that they have still been trying just to prolong the abuse, just hoping and praying that something happens to my health or that I have a mental health breakdown. It's mainly when I go out and the people that live around me that are involved that the abuse is still happening. Because they don't want to be held accountable. That's why. So the leaders of this town know that this has been going on for over a year now. They've just been turning a blind eye to it all. Throughout the past year, there has been environmental crimes committed in Campbelltown, New South Wales. There has been crimes that can be classed as war crimes. If you go on the Australian Federal Police website, you will see the list of crimes that are classed as war crimes. There are at least 3 of those crimes that have been committed here in Campbelltown throughout the past year as a part of this abuse. There have also been animals abused through this. There have been children abused through this. There has been exploitation of children and exploitation of other minority groups. As a part of this, there has also been no regard to the noise restrictions being regulated here in Campbelltown for the past year. There has also been no regard to the health issues that the environmental crimes may have been having on the people of Campbelltown or the wildlife. The things that have happened to me throughout this abuse are that they have tried to set me up for crimes, serious crimes. They have set up car accidents that have actually happened. I have had a weapon slingshotted at my car. I have had one attempted break-in on my home. My home has also been broken into. However, I don't believe it was actually broken into. I believe that the people that got into my home they had help to be let in. And this was family members that got into my home, and what they did was they stole all of my writing and all of my work. I am a writer. I do a lot of writing. You know, it's one of my hobbies. I write about my experiences. I am also a psychic, and I like to write down a lot of the downloads that I get from spirit. So they thought they would break in and steal those from me. They're using a lot of the stuff that I've wrote about as a part of the psychological abuse, and I think they just wanted to, you know, have control of the things that I had created. I have also had brake fluid thrown over my car twice. I believe I have been poisoned at least once. I have also been given magic mushrooms. I believe this was done to, try and make me look delusional. I did not know, like I had no knowledge that I was actually ingesting them, but I do believe that they were given to me. I have also been drugged while serious crimes have been carried out in my home in the past. I have also been blackmailed because I was blackmailed by some of my family members when I was taken to the hospital. They were trying to get me to sign over control of my finances, and they were blackmailing me to do that. They were, telling me that they wasn't going to get me the things that I needed, the necessities that I needed when I was in hospital if I didn't sign over control of my finances. And I never did that. I didn't care. I had to end up getting the things delivered to the hospital that I needed, most of them. They did bring in a few things for me, but that was only because they wanted to try and pressure me more into signing over control of the finances. I was also kidnapped when I was taken to that hospital because I was admitted totally against my will. I should never have been taken there. I was tricked into being taken there. And the fact that I was fed the psychedelics, it was just before all this. So I was kind of like put into this weak emotional state just before they carried out this setup. My car has also been tampered with in ways that put me in danger. And, throughout this whole thing, there has been no police to call on for help, no justice system to call on for help at all. I feel completely unsafe. And the justice system even go through my garbage every week, and they have been for over a year now. I think they even test the tissues that I use to see if I've been crying, to see if my emotional state's got worse. So they're just looking for things like to try and frame me for anything that they can. And the fact that abusers from my past are able to listen in on my house, and the way that my human rights are being violated, it's just absolutely disgusting. So I want this to stop. I want the listening device removed from my home. I want justice to be served. I want the people involved held accountable. And that's that. So that's really all I have to say today. I will, keep you posted on anything else that happens. If you've watched this video to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. If you can, could you please like the video, because this just helps the video to circulate more on YouTube so that more people can become aware of what's happening here. So once again, thank you so much, and God bless. Bye for now.